History Month, we are taking a look at the life of Harriet Tubman, the American liberator who used the Underground Railroad to help free dozens of enslaved people from the shackles of slavery. There are many details of Harriet Tubman's life that many people do not know. Local News Now live anchor Rashida Kaba tells us about the forgotten passage.
We're here in Baltimore, where one of the most notable figures in the Underground Railroad movement, Harriet Tubman, carried out numerous rescue missions, shepherding people from the enslaved and segregated South to the fight for freedom in the North. And this included some of her most dangerous missions here in Baltimore, including going back for her two brothers.
She did participate in the Civil War. She was a nurse, a scout, and spy. And she led the Combahee River Raid in South Carolina, where she helped free another 750 enslaved people.
Those are the more notable facts about American liberator Harriet Tubman. But what's not as well known is how she became the fearless soldier, philanthropist, and abolitionist.
Harriet Tubman was from the middle of nowhere out in the sticks.
Tubman grew up on a plantation near Cambridge, Maryland. When she was 13, she was struck in the head by a paperweight when another slave master attempted to thwart a boy trying to escape. It was a blow that nearly killed her.
She credits that moment to when she started getting her visions from God.
14 years later, her niece was being put up for sale, and Tubman knew she had to do something.
That day, her and her two younger brothers, Ben and Henry, decided to run away. But they were gone for a few weeks and were bickering, fighting on which direction to go, and ultimately decided to return.
But she had an advantage of knowing the land.
As a little girl, she was forced to trap muskrat and in the marshes. And she knew the land very well, and she had an amazing memory.
Along the way, she made a network of connections with maritime workers, connections she would need to help guide others through the movement. Weeks after her failed attempt at freedom, she left on her own, this time to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. By December 1850, she devised a plan to return to Maryland for her first liberation spree to get her niece. Tubman helped liberate about 70 people over more than a dozen trips, and by December of 1860, she stopped doing missions. All the money she made over the years was poured into creating resources for others.
Before she opened up Harriet Tubman's Home for the Aged, she was housing less fortunate in her own home and feeding them and clothing people.
Tubman was estimated to be about 91 when she died at her home in Auburn, New York. In Baltimore, I'm Rashida Kaba.